a minute for Steve's Music Minute, yeah!
Greetings. So I'm going to further our conversation on harmonics, specifically today as they relate to the guitar. So last time we talked about how our third, the harmonic that gives us the third at the 9th fret, is a little bit off from the actual third that we get when we tune it up, alright? Now this E chord sounds fine, but technically this third is a little sharp, and you can actually sweeten it just a little bit by lowering it, sometimes just tugging on it. And that gets a little bit closer to the pure third. Still a little bit high if we wanted to match it precisely. There we go. Okay, now that's a really nice sounding chord at that point. However, if I go to my G chord now, because this third has been lowered, so this G is slightly lower than a G, now this B sounds sour with this G. Partly because this B is actually a little bit high, alright? So I can tune the B down to tame that a little bit. There we go. But now what if I come back to the E? Now this B is out of tune. And if I go to a D, it just gets worse. And that's the whole idea behind this compromise that we have when we tune a guitar or we tune a piano. This is something that was developed in the Baroque era of music because the keyboards and lutes and things they had at the time, they could tune them so that they would sound well enough if you stuck to closely related keys. So if you're in the key of E and then you stuck to A's and B's and so forth, those would all sound pretty good together. The moment you started to modulate into keys that were farther away, the intonation would get worse and worse and worse. So there were various ways of making this compromise happen. What finally kind of took hold is called equal temperament, where every single half step on a piano, theoretically, on a guitar, theoretically, is exactly the same. The octaves are in tune, but those are the only intervals that are actually in tune. The rest are compromises. So our thirds are a little bit sharp, our fourths, our fifths, such and so forth, are all a little bit out of tune. Now we're used to this sound, and we're also used to being able to modulate wherever we want, so it doesn't really bother us. So that is actually one of the advantages I have found to tuning a guitar against itself. Using the tuner to set your E notes so that they're right on, and then using your 5th fret method, or sometimes even the harmonic method, to tune up the rest of the strings. That can allow you to get a little bit more of a compromise happening. Now, sometimes, if I'm playing a song in E, and then I'm going to go right to a song that's in G, I will maybe adjust that third just a little bit on each song so I can get that sweeter third happening. Alright, we'll catch you next time.